Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is Sports Tigers post-match segment. Today's game, Chennai versus Hyderabad, and one more disappointing performance by Hyderabad because the Yellow Army has once again established their dominance just like the old ways and have gone right up at the points table. We're going to discuss more about this match in detail with my cricket expert, Monty Panesar, and Arohi as well.
I
Hi, Arohi. Hi, Monty. I was just discussing that what a dominant performance by Chennai, winning by 7 wickets. So my first question to you, Monty. Some real poor on-field, ordinary decisions, poor strike rate by the captain. Where is it all going wrong for Hyderabad this season? What's happening with Hyderabad this season?
Well, I think what the problem is. Well, I don't know if it's problem or is it just good captaincy from Maninder Singh Dhoni that David Warner has a unbelievable strike rate against the Chennai Super King spinners. His strike rate is over 150, and what I found surprising was that Manish Pandey was taking the risky shots and played a great innings. You know, 10, 15, 20 runs more, that's all they needed. And, I think the game was lost. David Warner, he didn't take the risks. He didn't go after the bowling like he supposed to. You know, Normally the problem is, can David Warner, last this power play and then kick on? And I just don't know why he didn't kick on. Is it out of form, or is it just really smart captaincy from Dhoni? It didn't get him going.
Absolutely right, Monty. Looked very concerning there. David Warner not looking in the best of touch, really struggling in a sense, not being able to take hit the big boundaries. Didn't even look like he wanted to take those risky shots. Like you said, Manish really took over that role, and even like Williamson and Kedar Jadhav later on, got a few cameos in there, and they reached a fairly reasonable target. So where does Hyderabad go with Warner from here? He looks a little bogged down as well. The captaincy seems to be taking a toll on him. You see him after every game. He looks a little rattled. What does one do with Warner if this is if this is how his headspace is?
Well, I think, I think what Warner needs to do is maybe have a. The thing is, it's so difficult. If he has a break from a captaincy, then everyone's going to. It's a big decision. He's got to keep captaincy. He's got to keep going. I think he's just got to find ways of. Why didn't the bowlers defend 171? That's the question he's got to ask himself as well. Is there too much reliance on Rashid? Rashid can't always. He took 3 for 30 odd, but rest of the bowling lineup didn't really respond. So the other question is, why didn't Hyderabad defend 171?
That's a good question, Monty. And first, I'll have a look at the scorecard quickly. Hyderabad scoring 171 with the loss of 3 wickets. And yes, good performances by Warner and Manish Pandey there with 57 and 61 respectively. But we just spoke about it. David Warner going at a strike rate of just above 100 was struggling there. But Kane Williamson, Kedar Jadhav putting great cameos in the end and quickly putting up 26 and 12 respectively. Chennai, on the other hand, 173 for 3. Finishing the game in just 18.3 overs, winning by 7 wickets. Another beautiful performance by Ruturaj, 75 of just 44, and Fab du Plessis, always the anchor in this squad, again putting up a 56 of 38. Moin Ali, a good cameo, really taking on Rashid Khan, being a little aggressive there. 15 of 8, but got out unfortunately. Ravindra Jadeja not out at 6. Suresh Rana at 17. Bowling, nothing much to talk about. Just one guy, just one man, Rashid Khan, in his 1 over, taking 2 wickets quickly in all, in totality, 4 overs, 36 runs and 3 wickets. So yes, my next question, Arohi, to you. With the absence of somebody like Bhuvneshwar, Natarajan, Holder not being there, just too much reliance on Rashid Khan, just too much pressure on him to perform?
Definitely, because when you have three-star bowlers, you have Natarajan, you have Bhuvi, and you have Rashid Khan, and two of them not available due to injuries. It's not that you've kept them out, but they have to be out because they're not fit to play in the match. So I think when you have three good bowlers and only one is playing consistently, he's playing matches. So definitely all the pressure is on him because the others they've never played the role of a main bowler for Hyderabad as a team, because Hyderabad has always had these three, and the other bowlers used to always fill in between these three. So, all the other remaining overs used to be theirs, and they would do whatever they generally do, which they are currently also doing. But this time, the issue is because all the extras are more than the actual players. That is why you can see how haywire the bowling lineup is going and how they're conceding just so many runs, not bowling in the right length. And some balls are really good, but then players of the caliber of Faf and Raina or Jadeja, they're just so tactical about all the shots that they can easily handle those balls. So I really think that it's a big blow to Hyderabad. Firstly, that two of their strike bowlers aren't there, and that is why the entire pressure is on Rashid. And he's giving us the results which he generally used to otherwise as well. So I think the pressure hasn't played much on him, but it has to play a lot on the other bowlers because they need to take up responsibility anyhow. Otherwise, Hyderabad isn't going anywhere.
Absolutely, and I loved how you said that some of the players in the Chennai squad so tactical. We saw something like that with Kane Williamson actually today. How he was put in a very different role, coming down the order, had to finish the game with a higher strike rate, and loved how he manipulated the field, found the gaps quite easily, and played a role which he's usually not used to playing. So that was a good tactical move by Williamson as well. Upping his ante there. But Monty, we have to talk about Chennai. Such an all-round squad. So many all-rounders there. They bat deep. They have multiple bowling options. Even somebody as young and inexperienced like Ruturaj Gaikwad has started delivering consistently, putting up big scores like the one we saw today. Fantastic knock. How do you beat this squad? How do you beat them?
Well, I think the difficulty is that you've got to attack the spinners. They did really well against the spin option. And this is where I'm not saying there's a lot of onus on David Warner, but against Chennai Super Kings, teams on a flat pitch, they've got to score 180, 200 plus. That really puts a lot of pressure on the likes of the sort of middle order because, once they have to chase a bigger total, at some point, they'll lose wickets and that middle order then isn't at its strongest at the moment. So, you got to post huge totals. So I believe, it was more to do with the run chase. Again, I don't want to sort of, go down that route, but, Johnny Bairstow didn't fire. But I think any team, it's not even just Sunrisers Hyderabad. It's any team that is playing against Chennai Super Kings. You've got to look to post a huge total because where the game is won is actually won by, you've got to get Dhoni out to bat where he doesn't want to. You got to get him out, get him out in the 15th over because he's not in great form, and then that's where they will struggle. So, I just feel that they didn't get enough runs on the board.
Yes, didn't get enough runs on the board, and that's why a lot of question marks on Warner's approach today. Not playing in this tournament like the way we are used to seeing Warner play. Low strike rates, inconsistent scores. Warner just not having the best tournament, looking really off color this season. So a big concern for the franchise going forward. Arohi, we've already spoken about this once as well. The changes that probably Hyderabad can look at, because I don't want to suggest any. They've already made 21 changes. They're probably one of the only squads in this tournament that has made the maximum number of changes till date, and we're not even halfway there. We haven't even played 7 games yet. So that's a bit concerning. But going forward, what do you see with this team? What are the kind of changes one can look at if they want to, improve their ways?
I think the batting line I think this is the best batting lineup they can go with. So I don't think they need to make a change there because with Manish Pandey coming in, you have that stability on the top. And otherwise, I don't think you need somebody like Saha up there or Virat Singh. Absolutely not. So I'm happy with this lineup. Bowling needs to be tweaked. You need to use your bowlers in some new manner. And I think Shahbaz Nadeem can come in, given that the wicket becomes slower in the second half. I think somebody like him should come in, and a fast bowler has to go, because your fast bowlers are leaking a lot of runs, and that cannot be happening if you want to actually restrict the opponents, especially in the second innings. So I think probably that is one change we might look at. Otherwise, I don't see how Holder will be coming in. He will be an asset definitely, but you cannot. I don't think you can keep any of the four overseas players already playing in the team outside, because they've really done so well for you, and I don't know. It's a no-brainer. You can't keep them out. That's all. So I think probably Shahbaz Nadeem is the only one who can come in, and they can tweak their order. You need to make some more experiments. You need to give some more chances. You need to talk to your bowlers about how to bowl, when to bowl, what to bowl. How to target a batsman is what they need to learn.
Interesting, Arohi, what you said, that it's so hard to replace the four overseas players that they have, and they have to probably just keep shuffling their Indian batsmen or bowlers around. In fact, shocker of a decision for me when they had dropped Manish Pandey. I feel he's just a stable batsman in the middle order at number 3 and has scored so many runs. Very surprised that he was dropped earlier. Glad that he contributed today and showed why he should continue to remain at that spot. And I hope they back him at that number. But Monty, big question for you. If you were running this franchise, would you drop Warner and try and get Holder in? Would you take that big call if you were running the franchise?
Well, it's something that you should ask David Warner. Is he just too tired from captaining the team? Should he maybe pass it on to Kane Williamson, who's actually just seems to be free flowing when he comes out to bat in a 17th over? They needed that, a bit of injection into their innings, and they managed to get 30 odd runs in the last 3 overs. Or else this would have been well below par underscore. The score. Yeah, so. That could be an option. That could be a discussion that maybe Tom Moody will have. You're looking a bit exhausted. You're looking tired. Do you want to relieve the duties? Maybe give it to Kane Williamson, and then that gives the option. If David Warner isn't batting well, they can bring in another person in. That's something that I think David Warner needs to just have an honest conversation and think. Look, as the captaincy, is it just wearing me down now? And it's time to give the duties to someone else. And there's Kane Williamson. He's a very cool under customer. He's batting superbly well. That sometimes a selfless decision like that could change the fortunes for Sunrider Hyderabad.
Yes, maybe it's time to take a very selfless decision, and the talk needs to be had with Warner if the captaincy is really bringing him down. We've actually witnessed something very similar with KL Rahul. Seems like the pressure of the captaincy is getting the better of him. So yeah, let's see. We'll have to wait and find out if such a big call can be taken. But tomorrow we are heading into a big double header, Monty. First, we have Mumbai versus Rajasthan, and we've already discussed so many times that the kind of problems Rajasthan is facing with their lineup, so many players missing, the entire English contingent, like I call it, is already not there. And then the replacements like Liam Livingstone, Andrew Tye, they've left as well. They have one guy coming in, Van de Ven from South Africa, but he's going to take a while before he joins the team. And you're going up against a champion squad. How do you see this matchup faring?
Yeah, look, Rajasthan Royals, they won last time, had a bit of a break. And, teams are much more, revitalized once they've had that sort of break. And I think Sangakkara got a time to reflect. And what would be interesting to see, the decisions of the team that they play, and what kind of, reflection and review they've had as a team. Once they've won that their last game, so that will be interesting to see. I think if they're going to beat Mumbai Indians, we will have to see some sort of surprise changes in Rajasthan Royals. It could be with a batting lineup, it could be with options, with how Saha captains the team. So it's yet to be seen, because Sangakkara is a very intelligent, and astute. Had a cricket brain, and that's what I think attracts Rajasthan Royals. You always think, what is Kumara Sangakkara thinking about how to get this team, winning and make it into a successful franchise? So it will be interesting to see how that game goes tomorrow.
Yes, we have seen that some of the some of the batsmen in the Rajasthan lineup have been inconsistent over the last few games, especially somebody like Sanju Samson, but looking good, scored a few runs in the previous game, so hopefully coming back on the confidence of his knock, and a win as well could change fortunes, but it's never easy when going up against a champion squad like Mumbai. However, I feel that Rajasthan might have an advantage because Mumbai is not having the best run and the lower order hasn't been firing at all. So something might be in store for Rajasthan. They might get the better of them if they come together as a unit and perform collectively. You never know where the match goes. But Arohi, about the second game, like I said, it's a double header. Another very interesting one. It's Delhi versus Kolkata, and it's going to be at Ahmedabad. Kolkata has already played one there and performed fairly well. Whereas the fortune hasn't been the same for Delhi, despite winning the toss, which we spoke about. So how do you see this matchup?
I'm really looking forward to it, mainly because I'm looking forward to Akshar and Avesh performing at Ahmedabad again. I'm really excited for that. And I'm really excited to see whether Kolkata finally tweak that batting order, because they really need to. They really need to get somebody at the opening spot. I really hope they do, because if they do nothing like it, and nothing can stop them given the fact that they're coming out of a win. So probably, that mindset, that attitude, along with probably more confidence at the start, will just help them. They're going to go just up and ahead from there. So I'm really excited to see how the teams play their players and how they use them, whether they use them in the right way or they mess up. I don't know. Let's wait and watch for tomorrow.
Yeah, they're always full of surprises, but I don't expect any changes in the batting order because you and I might feel that somebody like Sunil Narayan is a pinch hitter, but clearly the management doesn't feel that way. The management doesn't see Sunil Narayan as a pinch hitter, so they keep backing him at that number 4 spot. So I'm not expecting many changes. But Monty, I have to come to you with the Delhi and about Delhi. The super over, you must have seen it. How often have you seen somebody like Akshar Patel, who's a left-arm orthodox spinner, taking on somebody like Warner and Bairstow and winning the super over? How was it for you?
It's incredible to see. I'm always a big fan of spinners bowling the super over and them sort of outdoing their sort of batsmen, and it's great to see. I'm a big fan of that. So yes, it's great to see Akshar Patel. He obviously has got the upper hand, and generally I think the Indian spinners have bowled really well throughout the IPL. They seem to have that upper hand against the overseas batsmen. So from a spinner's perspective, thumbs up. I love it when a spinner bowls in the super over.
Yes, it was definitely a wonderful sight. We don't see that very often, and especially that team ending on the winning end. So kudos from my side as well for Akshar. But big matchup, Delhi losing their previous game by just 1 run at Ahmedabad. So they definitely want to recover from that loss. So let's see what's going to happen. But thank you guys for joining me in this segment. It was a wonderful chat. And thanks to all the viewers as well. You are watching Sports Tiger. This was the post-match segment. Tomorrow, a big day, a long one, double headers coming up. So we'll catch you before the first game. It's going to be Mumbai versus Rajasthan. So stay tuned in.